lots of stuff to talk about. Yeah, leave it alone. So I'm going to play the Thursday song, give Maelynn a little bit more time to get ready to join us, and then we will get going on testimony. There it is. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to play the Thursday song, and then we will get going. So I will see you in a bit.
Thursday in my shoes, same old hallway, clock keeps tapping hard on the same four walls. I got one eye on now, one eye on the edge, counting minutes slow like coins in my hand. Hold it down, hold it tight, can you feel it? Almost Friday night. Thursday, only one more day, only one more day. Thursday, only one more day, then we break away. Only one more day. Only one more day. Lunch tray, shaky grin, tie it off and go, map out every little thing I wanna do tomorrow. Let the whole world wait, let it buzz and spin. I can taste that first breath when the weekend kicks in. Hold it down, hold it tight, can you feel it? Almost Friday night. Thursday, only one more day, only one more day. Thursday, only one more day, then we break away. Only one more day. Only one more day. Come on, keep your head up high. We were made for this little stretch of time. Take it slow, then let it fly. Friday's coming right on time. Only one more Thursday, only one more day, only one more day. Thursday, only one more day, then we break away. Thursday, only one more day, only one more day. Thursday, only one more day, then we break away. Only one more day, only one more day.
All right. It's Thursday, y'all. We got one more day in the work week. Today, I have a hard out of no later than 11:15 my time because the older kids have their last day of school today. So I'm going to go eat lunch with them. So we will get in a good solid 2 hours of testimony. But yeah, so I am going to add this to stage and we will make sure everything's set with my sound so I can actually hear it because, you know, it likes to change stuff on me every day. Me either. Okay, it should be good. Good morning, friend.
Good morning. Try and get my camera set.
You're good.
Get the settings done. Oh, no, hell no.
I like your top. That's pretty.
Oh, thank you. It's a romper. It's a one piece.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. And it's got pockets. Big pockets, hot pocket
Nice.
pockets. I love it. It's so comfortable. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think
I
one
don't
of my
do shorts.
I was
My legs are too white.
You're a retard. You don't do
One-
shorts.
yeah. One of the bonus
Don't go
kids from my oldest son's teenage years actually gave me this little romper.
Nice.
I'm over here turning black and shit.
My computer's running extremely slow this morning, so after we get off, I'm actually going to have to reset it. Yeah, restart it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's you. Come on. Hey, has some family issues going on, but everything's
Yeah.
good today.
When you get back
Good.
with the kids,
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody coming.
Okay.
Good day. You did all your grifting.
Yes, I did all
right?
of my housekeeping. Yes.
I heard it. Yeah.
So yeah, like I was saying yesterday, we heard from the medical examiner who works in Malta now at the hospital. He has a very thick accent, but not too thick that you can't understand it. And we are in for some pretty dry testimony coming up. I think there's another motion, like Attorney Cruz, like filed a lot of motions to dismiss.
So can you hear
or
me?
argued a lot. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. I apologize. My internet's acting real wonky right now.
Gotta love those days.
Yeah. Don't you? Yeah, it's my fault. I woke up late this morning. That's why I'm late, guys. I also woke up late. Okay. Well, let's go. I'll go ahead and do my grift. I think you've already done yours, right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm TC Maelynn. So sorry. I am so out of sorts today. Yesterday, we just had a really rough day in the house. You know, real life comes first. Always over this. And today I woke up late, so I'm like behind on everything. But so much for coming today. Make sure if you're not following Angie, it's Angie M 1984 on YouTube or Welcome to Angie's World. And if you're not following me, I'm TC Maelynn. So please come sub to each of us. I will be putting all of our links in the chats in just a few minutes once we get started on the case. I do have a Cash App. It is TC Maelynn. Donations are never required, always appreciated. And right now, I am heading to Dollywood next week, and I am trying to save some money to help my friend go, our friend go with. She's got everything except for money for food. So we're trying to throw in for that. I don't have any other money apps or things. So Now, once I get back from Dollywood, I will be starting up on my channel solo again. I do three shows a week. On Mondays, I talk about current cases, current crimes, and stuff like that. Anything, I mean, it can be solved, but like a single-ish type of crime. On Wednesdays, I talk about the old gangsters, Public Enemy #1. Right now, I am doing a wrap up to Al Capone. I'm kind of been talking about all of the extra outside Public Enemies #1, and then we will be doing a huge deep dive into Al Capone. And then on Fridays, I do Seriously Fridays, where I talk about a serial killer. They can be a current one. There are over 50 still active in the continental United States, 48. The United States has 50 states, though. So I know that, okay? Nobody come after me on that. But there are over 50 active in the 48 continental states right now in America.
Wow.
Or we could talk about an old guy. I just talked about the bloody Countess and Aquafina. So from back in the 15 and 1600s. So email me at tcwmaelynn@gmail.com or send me a DM on X at tcmaelynn. But I'm terrible with XDM. So please, if it takes me like a week to find it, just know it's not you, it's me. I'm terrible.
You're
All
fine.
right, I'm good.
Okay. All right, let's get this going.
Okay.
Here we go.
Well, once we get this going, I will. All right.
All right, Mr. Cruz, do you want to clarify your question and see if I understand what you're asking?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Before our trial, I filed residual hearsay motions. The Honorable Court entered an order stating that I could not ask any witness anything about what Ms. Baker told them until, I believe you prefaced it on, depending on what Chris Melton's testimony was. You said you would make a ruling after, I'm paraphrasing, you would make a ruling once Chris Melton testified. You instructed me that in opening, I could not mention anything that Ms. Baker may have said to anyone. And as you know, in opening yesterday, I was held in contempt for making a statement that Chris Melton made that Honorable Court, that Mr. Yalamatili asked for, and Honorable Court granted, saying that I violated Rule 412, based on me stating that Mr. Melton stated she must have been with someone else when he was told that somebody else's DNA was found after he knew for 25 years somebody else's DNA was, or at least he was told DNA was present. Based on yesterday, I said, well, look, I need to be conservative. I don't want to offend the court in any way. I don't want the court to think I'm doing anything intentional when I'm not. So I assumed that Ahmad don't speak on anything regarding Tara Baker's statements until the Honorable Court makes a ruling. However, Mr. Yalamatili just asked Ms. Lunstein, based on what Tara Baker told you, what is your impression of the relationship? And I looked at the Honorable Court to see if the Honorable Court was going to say anything. Nothing was said. So that's why I came to the bench to just get clarity. And the only thing I want to do, Your Honor, I just don't want to offend you. I don't want to offend you. Yesterday, I got held in contempt, and I didn't even realize that I was doing something that was improper. So I'm trying to make sure I'm walking on eggshells for Your Honor. I'm trying to make sure I do everything right for Your Honor. So I just want clarity that if that question is okay based on the court's order. That's the only thing I want clarity on. Can I ask witnesses, based on what Ms. Baker told them, what is their impression of the relationship with Chris Melton and Ms. Baker?
All right, Mr. Cruz, you are mischaracterizing the court's order completely. Yesterday's moments were based on a ruling that the court made on January 21st with regard to the state's appropriate filing of a 412 motion. And we've discussed this over and over again. And the court has noted over and over again that the defense did not file a 412 motion. The defense only acknowledged in open court to the state with regard to their motion that the only person that they would introduce or attempt to introduce evidence for with regard to any exception for 412 was Mr. Melton. And we've discussed over and over again the fact that should the defense wish to attempt to introduce evidence other than Mr. Melton, that a proper motion had to be filed. We've talked about that over and over again. Yesterday, I made a finding that you first attempted to circumnavigate that policy, that procedure, by insinuating certain things in your opening. The state made an objection. I sustained it. And I had a pretty lengthy discussion with counsel outside the presence of the jury, warning counsel not to do that. When you did it again, the state made an objection. I sent the jury out, and that's when I made a finding of contempt after allowing you certainly to explain yourself. And I found that that was a violation of the court's order with regard to 412. And so your characterization for the court about what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say is not, does not comport with what happened yesterday. The motion that you filed, notice of intention to introduce residual hearsay testimony, is in relation to certain statements that you are asking the court to admit. They are pending. And they are pending because I made, and you appropriately said this, it will depend on how the evidence unfolds. And we will take up these motions again if necessary as the case proceeds. But there is nothing improper in the way that Mr. Yellowman-Chili asked that question. And it has nothing to do with 412. It doesn't have anything to do with my prohibition that I gave the defense. I think the insinuation that the court is being unfair and allowing one side to do something and the other side not to do something is absolutely mischaracterizing my order. And so I'm responding to your comments, Mr. Cruz. If you have an objection to the state's questions, you certainly may present it right now, and I will make a ruling.
This is a situation the defense is in. I am handcuffed. Being held in contempt is a very severe sanction against an attorney. It is very severe. So what I have to navigate is being respectful to the court, also following the law, but most importantly, following the court's orders. The state, they have no prohibitions on him. I can't argue consent. The court said, well, you can't say anything about consent in regards to the DNA. Mr. Yellowman-Chili, who got up yesterday and said, oh, Mr. Cruz is so disingenuous. This prosecution is disingenuous. This guy is innocent. The evidence will show he's clearly innocent. So I won't go there. But we have restrictions. We have restrictions on us that the state does not have. So what I have to do, because I've been held in contempt, is I have to make sure I don't do anything that'll surprise me like it did yesterday.
Okay,
So
Mr. Cruz, I would like to respond this way. Your characterization of being handcuffed, so you speak, is very unfortunate. And I think that is an unfortunate way to address the fact that the only reason that we're having this discussion is because you have not filed the appropriate motions for the court to take up. And the ruling that the court made about whether the defense can introduce a defense of consent and other things that you mentioned are because, and we have talked about this many times, that you have failed to file the proper motions. Because when you file the proper motions, the court will hear argument as to whether your motions are appropriate, as to whether the evidence you are seeking to admit is admissible. And if that is not done, then what you're seeking to admit is not allowed. And that is just the law. And so to characterize the court's allowing one party to do things and the other side being, in your words, handcuffed is not accurate. It is misleading. That is not why the court made a finding of contempt yesterday. I'm not going to go back over my finding, but suffice it to say, I think I was pretty thorough on the record twice about whether the defense was allowed to say certain things. The rulings that I have made that supported the court's comments yesterday are in the record. They are on the record. And Mr. Cruz, you are very well aware of the reasons that the court made those rulings. And so unless and until the defense files the proper motion, which would then provide the atmosphere for both sides to argue as to whether the
Okay. First rant of the day. Sorry, y'all. If I remember right, the defense did file a 412 motion. However, she never ruled on it. So they basically were handcuffed. This is the shit that pisses me off about this judge. And why I say she told Beverly Cadoni, even though she probably doesn't know her, to hold my moonshine. It's this condescending, gaslighting bull. Okay. I'm done. Back to this.
evidence you're asking to admit is admissible, it is prohibited. And that is the law. And so I'm not going to argue with you about that. I think your characterization of what is allowed and is not allowed is mischaracterized. I can't think of another way to say it.
Your Honor, we gave
Yes.
5 cases that 412 did not apply to a defendant saying that to a rape allegation, he's raising the
I'm not going to revisit that moment, Mr. Cruz. I've already made my ruling.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it is not appropriate to re-argue that your right in the court is wrong. There's another venue for that.
Yes, ma'am.
I've made a ruling, and you certainly can take it up if necessary in another venue. But for now, I'm not going to revisit that ruling.
Yes, ma'am.
I've made that ruling. And unless until you are filing the appropriate motions to be heard, and I've told you yesterday that if you do file those motions, even though they are not timely, I will consider them. But until then, my ruling does stand. And so I just need to ask you your objection right now so that I know that I've finally finished making whatever ruling it is with regard to what Mr. Yellowman-Chili was talking about.
So I didn't have an objection. That's why I approached the bench. The question that I was asking, because
Yes.
maybe I'm misinterpreting what the Honorable Court instructed me to do and stay away from. I just want to know, because what I'm scared of is I ask the question, Mr. Yalmachili hops up, Judge, he's done this on purpose, hold him in contempt again. I'm just asking, Judge, is it okay? And we could have kept it at the bench. Is it okay? I just want to be clear. Is it okay if I ask witnesses the exact question? Based on what Ms. Baker told you and what she discussed in her relationship, what was your impression about Ms. Baker's and Chris Melton's relationship? Is that an okay question for me to ask?
Yes, it is, sir.
Yes,
That's what the state just asked.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your
And
Honor.
that was one of the moments with regard to that particular witness, Mr. Melton, that was basically properly noticed by the defense to the state, because we had a hearing where we had that discussion. And so even though that notice was an oral notice as opposed to a written motion, we had that discussion in court. My ruling on the 21st was based on that acknowledgement by the defense to the state in proper form. So yes, sir. The answer to your question is yes. Mr. Yalmachili, did you want to respond at all? I've been talking with Mr. Cruz, you're the other party. If you'd like to make a response, you may. And then Mr. Cruz, you'll have the last word. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. As court said, the issue Mr. Cruz actually raised at the bench where the discussion started had nothing to do with 412. The court's already said we're not revisiting the long discussions. The court's reviewed all the cases, made its ruling in accordance with the laws of the state of Georgia. I just want to, I guess, establish for purposes of the record that Mr. Cruz filed a notice of intent to introduce residual hearsay statements. So asking to actually elicit hearsay from witnesses. The court withheld its ruling. I do want to say that at least, and I'll have transcript in front of me, but I think Mr. Cruz has misconstrued the court's order as it related to that, which was we are going to hold rulings on this notice until such time as there has been testimony from the witness and some of the predicate requirements may be met about truthfulness. And then the court, obviously, it will be in your discretion even to admit or deny the introduction of those statements. So I just want to establish for the record, the state did not elicit any hearsay statement regarding Ms. Baker saying what it was about the relationship. We established foundation that this is a person who had discussions with Ms. Baker about her relationship, and we laid a foundation that they had a close and trusted friendship, and then just asked her about her impressions of their relationship. So I just want to make that clear for the record.
And I think that's an important distinction. So, Mr. Cruz, with regard to your question, let's go back to your question. Your question about eliciting information about the witness's impression of any status of relationship between Ms. Baker and Mr. Melton is certainly permissible. The state just asked it. The defense can ask the same thing. What neither party can do right now is elicit hearsay testimony. And let me just rephrase so we're on the same page, because sometimes these things can get very technical, and I want to make sure that all parties are on the same page. And that is this. For example, asking a question of this witness or any witness, based on what Ms. Baker told you, do you have an opinion on X, Y, and Z? At the moment, that's not a permissible question, right? Because it is eliciting hearsay. The way that Mr. Yalmachili has just phrased what he asked this witness is permissible based on your relation. I'm not going to tell you how to make your question, but something to the effect of how he just phrased it, based on your relationship with a certain person, the hours you spent together, the things that you discussed. Do you have an impression of the relationship? That kind of a question is permissible. The state just asked something like that. The defense has every right to respond and ask the same kind of a question. But eliciting actual hearsay testimony is not permissible at this point. Does that make sense?
I agree with the Honorable Court's ruling. I just wanted to make sure that I'm within the proper parameters and just let the Honorable Court know, exactly where we're coming from as a defense. It's new ground when a prosecutor stands up and says, Judge, this attorney has said something and he should be held in contempt, and he's held in contempt. When the statement, again, that Chris Melton says she must have been with someone else when confronted with DNA has nothing to do with 412. I am very familiar with 412 statute. That has nothing to do with 412.
We're not.
Go ahead, John.
I'm sorry, Judge. Just because Mr. Cruz has directly referenced statements that I've made, I would just like to say I've never in my career as a prosecutor or a defense attorney, thankfully, until this trial, been put in a situation where I had to make that request, but we were put in a situation where we had to make that request.
For both parties, I'm not going to relitigate the moment where I've held you in contempt, Mr. Cruz.
Yes, ma'am.
I am going to tell you that the comments that you have made, in my opinion, are mischaracterizing what happened yesterday. I'm not relitigating that moment. I'm going to ask that all parties move on. It is 5 after 12. I'm instructing both parties not to violate my ruling on 412.
Go ahead, what?
Oh, no, little one's taking a shower, and I guess he forgot towels, so my mom just brought him in to take him to a, and I was like, he could have asked me. I'm sitting right here. He could have gone and gotten him a damn towel. Brat. So, yeah.
You see what I mean about this judge, though? Like,
Oh, she is a total district attorney. And I say district attorney, DA, dumbass. So when you hear me say district attorney, I'm more than likely calling them a dumbass.
okay. All right, here we go. Let's get back to the...
If there is a motion filed, even though it is untimely, I will consider it. But other than that, we need to move along. So is there anything else, Mr. Cruz, you would like to ask the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
just to let you know, I am walking on eggshells. So if I have concerns about something, I'll just ask to approach the bench. It doesn't even have to be on the record. I just want to make sure I don't violate anything that the Honorable Court puts in place.
Well, Mr. Cruz, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know that walking on eggshells is a fair representation of what happened yesterday. I think the appropriate response should be to review the court's rulings and just recognize what they are and not violate them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. If you'll bring the jury up, please. Thank you.
Stand up for the jury.
Thank you. Everyone may be seated. Mr. Yamachile, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe Mr. Cruz indicated that he didn't have any cross-examination questions for Ms. Lunstein. I don't have any.
I'm not sure I heard that. Okay, so you were finished. Mr. Cruz, do you have any questions for this witness?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Yamachile, anything else from this witness?
No, Judge.
May she be excused?
We'd ask that she is.
Any objection from the defense?
No, ma'am.
All right, you may be excused. Thank you. May I see counsel at the bench know that we are excusing that witness?
Ma'am, if you would, please raise your right hand and take an oath. Do you swear or affirm testimony you'll give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. If you would, please state and spell your name for the record.
Athena Gray, Athena, last name Gray, Gray.
And ma'am, where are you currently employed?
Athens Clark County Police Department in the Communications Division.
And is that sometimes referred to as the 911 center?
It is.
Okay. And what does the 911 center do in Athens Clark County?
We process incoming calls for service.
And how long have you been working there?
About 11 years.
What type of training have you received for your current position?
I am post-certified as a communications officer with the state of Georgia. I have received training for communications training officer, communications officer, senior communications officer, and several supervisory skills management courses.
And what is your current title?
I'm the 911 training coordinator.
Okay. And when someone calls 911, is there a document produced?
That's correct. When someone calls 911, we get anti-alley information. That means automated number information and automated location information. What that means is if someone calls in from a cell phone, then we get the latitude and longitude of the GPS coordinates that the cell phone tower is bouncing off of. We also get the phone number and we get the provider. So whether it's AT&T or Sprint, if it's calling from a landline, then we get the subscriber information, whether it's a business or a residence. We also get the phone number and the address that it's registered to. Now, in order to create a call for service, we need to know two things. We need to know what the address is and we need to know what the problem is. Once we get that information, then we can create a call for service in something called CAD. CAD is an acronym for Computer Aided Dispatch. It's a system that we use to create the calls for services. As a call taker is gathering the information, they can enter that into the CAD system, and another person in the room will dispatch it out for service.
You hit on the next couple of questions I was going to ask, so you gave me a chance to skip down a little bit. Is information entered by the call taker and logged into CAD?
Objection. Leading.
Sustained. If you'll rephrase, Mr. Yamachile, don't leave you waiting.
Well, Judge, I was going to ask a question that was about the testimony that she just gave. She just testified that the call taker enters information into CAD. And so my question was about that answer.
All right.
Well, that wasn't a question at all.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to sustain the objection in the manner in which you asked it. I certainly will allow both parties to provide context to their direct examination questions or their cross if they choose to, but just make sure you don't lead your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Is the time that information is entered recorded in the CAD?
It is.
Okay. And is the CAD maintained?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
I'm going to overrule that objection.
Is the CAD maintained in the normal course of regularly conducted activity by the 911 center?
It is.
Okay. And is that part of the regular practice of the center?
It is.
Are you familiar with the system that is used to record and maintain information for 911 calls?
I am.
And Judge, I'm going to show Mr. Cruz what's been marked. State's Exhibit 35.
Your Honor, I would object to the statements that are in this document on confrontation ground clause, on the grounds of the confrontation clause. And that's to State's Exhibit 35. As far as the computer generated information, I have no objection.
Your Honor, and I think defense counsel has actually filed a motion to this effect, but if we could limit speaking objections, please.
All right. May I see counsel at the bench for a moment, please? Thank you. Hold on. I think let's just get through this witness.
document?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what is that date?
That's when it was printed out.
Okay, and so, but what specifically is the date?
March 24th, 2006.
All right, and so just to clarify, you just testified that that's the date it's actually printed, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, but what was the date of the actual call?
January 19th, 2001.
Okay, and is there a time associated with the call?
Yes.
What is that time?
11/22/23.
Okay, and as information is entered into the CAD, are there timestamps associated with that?
There is.
Okay, and I want to ask you about a timestamp from 11/22/41. What is the information entered by the call taker at that time?
11/22/01.
I had it in my notes, it's 11/22/41.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection. Counsel, ask question, witness gives testimony.
All right, I'm going to overrule the objection. I think you're clarifying your question. Go ahead.
Says called in from 175, said he's across the street, looks like 160 is on fire.
Okay, the entry at 11/32/50.
Per command, get investigator.
At 11/33/36,
Command advise victim in structure.
and then at 11/34/36.
Command advise need forensics.
And that, so those times are noted, is that AM or PM?
AM.
Okay. Judge, I don't have any other questions for Ms. Gray at this time.
All right, Mr. Cruz, cross-examination.
I have no questions for you, Ms. Gray. I just want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Mr. Yelman-Chili, can we excuse this witness?
I'd ask you to be excused, Judge.
Any objection from the defense? You are free to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our lunch break right now. I'm going to give you the same instructions I've given you this entire time that we have met. Please don't discuss the case with anyone. Please don't do any independent research, of course. Don't go on the internet in any way and look up anything you may have heard today or before today. And other than that, enjoy your lunch. I'd like for you all to come back here by 1:30. We're going to start testimony again, so it's about an hour and 10 minutes. Enjoy your lunch.
Being an incident at 160 Fawn Drive.
Mid to low 50s to up to as much as mid to low 50s to up.
And so what did you do? Did you receive any information?
Yes, sir. I believe I was.
Okay. Information regarding an incident at 160 Fawn Drive.
Yes, sir. I did. I was contacted by the division secretary that my services were requested at 160 Fawn Drive,
And when you say your services, what particular services would those have been at the time?
to process the crime scene for the collection and preservation of evidence.
And so what did you do when you received that information?
I went to the scene and made contact with the officers and detectives that were already on scene, as well as a few of the firefighters, and discussed the situation that we had and began the process after the arrival of a GBI agent to assist, began the process of processing the crime scene for evidence.
And I want to pause for just a second and talk about something kind of separate from the crime scene itself. Do you recall what the weather was like on that day?
It was kind of cool and rainy. We have sections of heavy rain to mostly light rain, but I believe it's in the 50s, mid to low 50s, to up to as much as 60 degrees.
Okay. And so when you arrived on scene, well, let me ask you this question first. Is there a typical process that you go through when you're about to prepare to process a crime scene?
Usually the first thing I'll do, I'll take video if it's necessary. We didn't do it on all crime scenes, but on the major ones we did. And then I would do photographing of the scene, and before anything was moved or disturbed, we would try to document the scene through photographs and video.
And so I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 36 after I show it to defense counsel. Your Honor, may I mention the approach witness to move freely through the well of the court?
Granted.
Thank you. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 36. Would you take a moment to take a look at that and tell me if you recognize what it is?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
It was presented to me by your office as a copy of the crime scene video downloaded to a flash drive.
Have you had a chance to review it?
Yes, sir, I have.
And does it, after having reviewed it, does it fairly and accurately depict the video that you created on January 19th, 2001 of the scene at 160 Fawn Drive?
Yes, sir, it does.
Judge, I move to 10 to State's 36. Published to the jury.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
Mr. Leadall, while I'm getting this set up, 160 Fawn Drive, what county is that located in?
It's in Athens, Clark County. Is that better?
Your Honor, I'm ready to publish States 36 at this time.
Lawyer left on, I'm assuming that's what happened. There we go. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, are you not getting it on your screens in front of you? Okay. So there are some people that are, can you raise your hand who's getting it on their screen? Just a few people. Okay, front row it looks like, not the back row. Okay, hang on just a moment. Mr. Dickey, do you think you could help us? Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. See if we can get that working.
No, we're good.
Everybody has it on their monitor now? Excellent. Very good. Thank you, sir. You may proceed.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I've started the video back over at the beginning. And so I'm publishing States 36 from the beginning. Thanks.
Hey, Genuine. Thank you for stopping by.
Label it as 36 number 2. 37. Right, look, because I was about to mislabel it as 36 number 2. So I'm going to hand you States Exhibit 37. Please review it and let me know when you have an opportunity to do so.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize States 37?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what do you recognize that to be?
It's an aerial photograph of the development at Fawn Drive and adjacent streets, including all the residences there.
All right. And are you familiar with that area of Athens during that time period?
A little bit, yes.
Yes, sir. Do you believe that is a fair and accurate depiction of that area during the relevant time period?
Yes, sir, I do.
Judge, I move to tender States 37 at this time and publish it to the jury.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
Your Honor, for the record, hand Mr. Cruz States 38, 39, 40. May I publish this using the Elmo, Judge?
You may. All right, thank you. All right, counsel, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. And so, jury, please go into the jury room. Don't discuss the case. We'll be with you shortly. Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Yalmicheli, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to start calling you Lieutenant Leadall. Every time I say Mr. Leadall, it just feels weird to me. So I'm just going to refer to you as Lieutenant Leadall from now on. Sir, you have States Exhibit 37, which has been admitted into evidence up on the screen there. Your Honor, would you enable the ability for Lieutenant Leadall to draw on the screen? Thank you. And Lieutenant Leadall, looking at that image, can you draw a circle around where 160 Fawn Drive is located?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so looking at that image, it seems to me at least, well, let me just ask you a question. Is there anything different about the roof at 160 Fawn Drive from the other roofs in the area?
Yes, sir. It's covered with a tarp.
Okay. And could you point out where Cooper Road is in relation to 160 Fawn Drive if you just draw a line across the roadway?
Yes, sir. This would be Cooper Road here.
Okay. I'm going to hand you now States Exhibits 38, 39, and 40. Same thing as before. Take a moment to look at those and let me know if you recognize what they are.
Yes, sir. I do recognize that.
And starting with States Exhibit 38, what do you recognize that to be?
That is a diagram of the floor plan of the residence at 160 Fawn Drive.
Who created that diagram?
I did.
And is it a fair and accurate depiction of the diagram that you created?
Yes, sir, it is.
Move to tender States 38 at this time.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Hearsay to the last two as is.
Any response to the objection? Oh, wait, you mean of 39 and 40?
Correct.
Okay,
Those are the
let's-
ones with the titles on them.
So we'll get to those in a second. How about 38? What is your opinion on that?
I don't recall 38 hat. May I ask you 38, Your Honor, just to make sure I don't.
All right, of course.
No objection to
All
38.
right, it is admitted.
States Exhibit 39, what is that?
That is a diagram of the bedroom.
Hang on a second, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
39 and 40 were the two that I had objection.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. I'll let Mr. Yalmicheli lay a foundation if he can, and then if he tenders it, you can object and we'll hear it.
Yes,
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. States Exhibit 39, what is that?
It's a diagram of the bedroom where Miss Baker was located.
And who created that diagram?
I did.
And does it appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the diagram that you created?
Yes, sir, it does.
And Judge, I move to tender 39 at this time.
Okay, Mr. Cruz.
I would object to the hearsay in the document.
Okay, and tell me what you mean by that objection, and then Mr. Yalmicheli, you can refer to it.
Sure, just the descriptions.
Okay.
I remember correctly. May I see it? Yeah, just the descriptions. That's all.
Mr. Yalmicheli, any response?
Judge, I think that the description suggests that this is a demonstrative aid and it was created by Lieutenant Leadall to depict the bedroom that he was in. It's not hearsay, it's his statements as testified witness about what each of these things is talking about.
I'm going to overrule the objection and admit it over objection.
39 and 40, Your Honor.
We haven't got to 40 yet.
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 40, Lieutenant Leadall, what is that?
That is also a diagram of the bedroom where Miss Baker was found, and it includes measurements to the location from reference points to certain areas on the body, as well as other pieces of evidence in the room.
And when you say measurements, who's making those measurements?
I did.
Okay. And does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the diagram of measurements that you created?
Yes, sir, it does.
Judge, I move to tender 40.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am. Just hearsay to the descriptions.
All right, anything further, Mr. Yalmicheli?
Same response as 39, Judge.
I'm going to overrule the objection and admit it over objection.
And may I publish 38, 39, and 40 to the jury?
You may.
Thank you, Judge. So Lieutenant Leadall, starting with, froze up on me. Okay, there we go. Starting with States Exhibit 38, I would like you to start at the bottom of that diagram. And would you please just describe for the jury the layout of the residence at 160 Fawn Drive?
The layout starting at the bottom is the entrance into the front of the residence. And as you enter into the living room area, you'll locate two bedrooms to your left as you walk in, and one bedroom to your right, as well as the living room area. It also depicts the restrooms and the closets related to each bedroom. And then as you go farther into the diagram, you'll enter the dining area, and it's a floor plan of the kitchen area, the laundry room, and also shows a third bedroom and a rear entrance or exit, however you look at it, to the residence. Also located when you walk in the front door to the right is a bedroom just off the living room, the bedroom, and it has its own bathroom.
As it relates to the video that we just saw, obviously depicted in that video was Miss Baker's body. Which bedroom is it that was located in?
She was located in bedroom number 3 in the upper left-hand corner of that diagram.
All right, thank you. Now going forward to State's Exhibit 39. I'm going to point down, obviously there is a human-shaped drawing here. What is that?
That depicts the location of Miss Baker.
All right. And then there is an item that appears to be to the left as I look down of her head. What is that?
That would be a knife that was found on the floor beside the body.
All right. And then moving up towards the top of the document, what is the next arrow pointing towards and identifying?
That is the printer cable and power transformer that went from the printer to the body of Miss Baker, and the cord itself was wrapped around her neck.
And then as we move directly up from there, what is that arrow and what is it depicting?
That's showing the footboard of the bed, that it was broken away from the frame of the bed. And then if you continue a little bit farther up there, you'll see the printer where that cable was run to.
And then I'm going to go to State's Exhibit 40. What are we seeing here?
That's the same diagram. The only difference is I've added measurements from various reference points to certain items on the diagram, such as to the location of the body and then the bed, so I can put it back, the scene back together if needed on the measurements.
You mentioned taking a video, and you mentioned also taking still photos. I'm going to hand you, after I show them to Mr. Cruz, what I'm going to label as States 41, 42, 43, and 44. I'll hand you States 41 through 44. Take a look at those. Let me know when you've had a chance to review them. And then we'll start on.
I viewed them, yes.
Starting with States 41, you recognize that image?
I do.
What is it?
It's a photograph taken of the entrance to 160 Fawn Drive.
And does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction of the entrance?
Yes, sir, it does.
And tender States 41, Judge?
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
States 42, do you mind telling me what that is?
That is also a photograph of the front entrance to 160 Fawn Drive, just taken from a different angle.
Does it appear to be a fair and accurate depiction?
It does.
Move to tender 42, Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz? It is admitted.
And then as to States Exhibit 43, what is that?
That's a photograph of the damage to the front door that was made upon entry.
All right, does this appear to be a fair and accurate depiction?
It does.
Move to tender 43, Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz? It is admitted.
And 44, what is that?
44 is a photograph of the interior towards the right as you walk into the 160 Fawn Drive. It shows a living room area.
Thank you. Does that appear to be a fair and accurate depiction?
It does.
Move to tender 44, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz? It is admitted.
And Your Honor, I've handed Mr. Cruz a number of other exhibits from the state for him to review. And I would just ask court to be allowed to publish States 41 through 44 for the jury at this time using the element.
Right.
So States Exhibit 41 being published now. Those hoses or tubes down at the bottom of the doorway there, Lieutenant Leadall, what are those?
Those are the hoses that the fire department used to extinguish the fire.
Now going to States Exhibit 42. I think you already stated that this is the entryway from a different angle.
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 43, do you mind restating what that is?
That's a photograph of the lock and the handle on the front door, showing the damage from the exterior side of the door.
And States Exhibit 44, What is this again?
That's as you enter in the front door. It's a view of the living room to the right, all the way to the rear exit of the residence.
Let me see. A little more light might be helpful. Lieutenant Leadall, there on the coffee table, what are we seeing?
You see some books, and you also have some appears to be dust and soot, and possibly some fiberglass insulation on the table.
Okay. And so when you made entry into the residence and you were walking through, can you describe for the jury the condition of the residence outside of Ms. Baker's room, but the remainder of the residence as you walk through it?
It was kept very well. However, it did have a lot of sooting and dusty damage as a result of the fire and the debris from the fire, as well as some water damage, and also showing in this case insulation and some drywall from where the fire department had to open holes into the ceiling and pull some of the sheetrock down to vent up into the roof.
And so I'm going to skip around a little bit as Mr. Cruz reviews the other photographs that we're going to be admitting. What is trace evidence?
Trace evidence is small pieces of evidence or minute pieces of evidence, such as hair, fingerprints, fibers, any very small pieces of evidence, even parts of bullet fragments, anything that's minute.
Can environmental factors at a crime scene impact the ability to collect trace evidence?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. And how so?
Well, like, for example, when you're dealing with fingerprints and you introduce water to an area, that can help wash down fingerprints, or it affects the ability to recover fingerprints, because we typically use a powder to try to recover prints, and the water itself could cause damage to it and prevent you from recovering it. Also, you've got issues where you have, like in this case, the fiberglass insulation, blown insulation falling down. It would make it extremely difficult to recover hairs and fibers and things on underneath that insulation. And it'd be almost virtually impossible to go through every little piece of fiber insulation to try to determine if there was any trace evidence attached to that. And also you've got temperature can affect, heat and humidity can affect the ability to recover fingerprints, and it also does damage to other items and makes it extremely difficult to recover trace evidence.
Did you end up processing this scene for trace evidence?
Yes, sir, we did.
Were environmental factors, I'm going to use the word factor twice, but what's the environment a factor in trace evidence processing in this case?
Very much so, yes.
Okay. What is a known sample?
A known sample is a sample that you get from a known source, such as an individual, or, for example, if you were comparing paints, getting a known reference sample of the paint that you're to compare with the paint that you're finding, or something to compare with the item that you're collecting at the scene.
Is it important to collect known samples from people who have been at a scene as part of their normal life?
Yes.
Okay. And why is that important?
You can use it for process of elimination, where you can, if you've got known samples of the people that live there, for example, you can use that to compare to the items that you collected at that scene to determine if it belongs to them or if it belongs to an outsider who may not typically have access to that residence or that location. So you would want the known samples to do those comparisons to eliminate some of the evidence that or trace evidence that you've recovered, to see what you're left with and to compare it as a possible unknown.
Would it be expected or normal to find trace evidence from people who had been at a scene as part of their normal life?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to hand you now State's Exhibits 45 through 62. And instead of asking you one at a time, I'm just going to let you go through all of them. Just let me know when you've had a chance to do so. Judge, while Lieutenant Leadall is doing that, I'm hand Mr. Cruz State's Exhibits 63 through 69.
Okay.
And kind of collectively, what are these exhibits 45 through 62 that I need?
They're photographs of the interior of the residence at 160 Fawn Drive, the various rooms, as well as the bedroom area where Miss Baker was found.
And do they all appear to be fair and accurate depictions of various parts of that residence on January 19th, 2001?
They do.
Judge, I move that 10 to 45 through 62 this time, publishing to the jury.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz? They are admitted. And your permission is granted.
Thank you, Judge. All right, I'm going to start with State's Exhibit 45. I've just put it up on the Elmo. Can you describe for the jury what's depicted in 45?
Yes, sir. That's as you enter the front door of the residence that is to your right, and it shows the doorway leading to what I've labeled as bedroom number 1 on the diagram.
Thank you. And just for orientation purposes, I'll briefly put back up on the Elmo States Exhibit 38. You said bedroom 1, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is.
All right. Then States Exhibit 46, what are we looking at there?
That's a photograph showing taken from the front door area going directly back to the rear of the residence. To your left would be the entrances to bedroom number 2 and bedroom number 3 where Ms. Baker was located.
And I am going to show you 47 now. Is that just a slightly different angle of what's depicted in 46?
Yes, sir, it is.
Then 48, can you tell the jury what that is?
Yes, sir. That's a photograph from the doorway entrance to bedroom number 2, which would, as you walk in the front door, that would be immediately to your left.
Okay. And I think the jury has seen the diagram. I won't do the reorientation again. Can we go to States 49? What is that?
That is also a photograph of bedroom number 2, showing as you walk in the door of the bedroom, it'd be immediately to your right, and it goes back to the bathroom for that bedroom.
States Exhibit 50, what are we looking at here?
That's a photograph showing the kitchen area and the rear exit or entrance to 160 Fawn Drive.
Okay. And in particular, I'm pointing down at the picture to the bottom here. What is that at the bottom of the picture?
That is soot and water on the floor of the residence from the fire, as well as the firefighters and other personnel walking on the floor, disturbing that soot pattern. So it's just kind of mixed everything up.
Would that be something you would consider an environmental factor?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 51, what are we looking at here?
And that is a photograph of the entrance to bedroom number 3, which is Miss Baker's bedroom. And immediately to your left is a shot of the doorway going into the bathroom there that enters into that living room that is also shared through Miss Baker's room.
Sir. States Exhibit 52 here, what are we looking at?
That's a photograph from the doorway as you enter into bedroom number 3 or Miss Baker's room, showing the wall immediately to your right as you enter.
And I'm going to point down here. What is my finger pointing at there?
That is the computer printer.
There are going to be some difficult pictures. Obviously, we've all seen the video. I'm putting up States Exhibit 53 at this point. What are we looking at in 53?
That's a photograph showing the position of Miss Baker as she laid on the floor of the bedroom.
Okay. Right here is, what is that?
That is a strap that belongs to either a purse or an overnight bag or something that's immediately below the left hand of Miss Baker.
And it's difficult to see, but I'm going to point here, and then Judge, if I could circulate this picture to the jury. What is that around her neck?
That is the printer cable, the power cable that leads from the transformer of the printer and is wrapped around the neck of Miss Baker.
Judge, if I could, just because it is difficult. States Exhibit 54, what are we looking at there?
That is also a photograph of the printer that's on the floor, and also you'll see the edge of the footboard of the bed on the left side of that photograph.
And so for orientation purposes, I'm putting States Exhibit 39 back up. So as you come in the doorway to the bedroom from the hallway, which way would you turn to see the printer that was just depicted in States Exhibit 54?
You would turn to your right.
All right. States Exhibit 55, what are we seeing here?
That's a photograph taken from the doorway going straight back to the rear of the room. The door that you see there is the door to the closet. And to your right would be the headboard of the bed, as well as, I believe, a picture frame that's hanging there.
And here, right here at the front of the picture, what would that be?
That's part of the sheetrock ceiling that was pulled down.
States Exhibit 56, what are we seeing there?
That is also taken from the doorway as you enter the bedroom, and it goes like to a 45-degree angle to the back corner of the room, showing the area where the fire burned through the ceiling into the roof.
And States Exhibit 57, is that just panning up a little higher?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. And so here is that, what are we seeing there?
That's the trees out from the distance. It's the shot it burned through the ceiling, and it's a shot showing the sky.
States 58, I'm going to point to the middle of the image there. What is that?
That's a wall clock.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to observe that wall clock yourself outside of having taken a picture of it?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Was it functioning when you observed it?
No, it was not.
All right. And were the hour hand and the minute hand stopped in any particular location?
They were stopped at 9:32.
State's Exhibit 59, here in the middle here, what is this?
That is the bed spring of the bed that belongs to Miss Baker, and the yellow item that goes across the bed is a fire hose.
Okay. And then State's Exhibit 60, which bedroom is that in?
That is also bedroom number 3, which is Miss Baker's bed.
And then 61, what is that depicting?
Again, that's also a photograph of the entire bed in bedroom number 3, and a little bit of the portion at the bottom shows a portion of Miss Baker's arm.
And which arm, right or left, would that be of Miss Baker's?
It would be her right arm.
Okay. State's Exhibit 62, what are we looking at here?
That's a photograph showing the public, and I'm going to use the word public entrance to the restroom or the bathroom that conjoins with Miss Baker's room.
All right, sir, I'm going to hand you what's the mark of State's Exhibits 63 through 69. If you would, please take a look at those. And let me know when you've got a chance to review them. And Your Honor, I'm handing Mr. Cruz States 70 through 76 of this. What are those?
Those are photographs of various locations inside the residence as you walk into the front door, showing bedroom number 1, which would be immediately to your right as you walk in the front door. In the interior of the room, also a photograph of the kitchen and the stove area and cabinet area to the right and rear door. And another photograph showing the entrance in the laundry room and the kitchen table. Another photograph of showing the stove, actually 2 of them showing the stove in the kitchen area. And the last one is a photograph showing the kitchen window taken from the exterior of the residence.
Judge, are these very inaccurate pictures?
Yes, sir, they are.
Judge, I'll move to tender States 63 through 69.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
They are admitted.
Publish them to the jury.
Granted.
All right, State 63, which bedroom would this have been?
That's bedroom, what I've labeled as bedroom number 1 on the diagram.
Okay.
That's immediately to your right as you walk in the front door of the residence.
And then State's Exhibit 64, what are we looking at there?
That is a photograph also of bedroom number 1 showing the entrance to the bathroom that's attached to that room.
State's Exhibit 55, we've moved to a different part of the house. Where are we?
That I'm standing kind of at the edge of the living room, dining room, showing a photograph of the kitchen area and the rear exit of the residence.
And State's Exhibit 66, what is that depicting?
That's a photograph of the kitchen table area and the entrance to the laundry area of the residence.
And then State's Exhibit 67, what are we looking at here?
That is a photograph of the stove in the kitchen.
Can you see anything around the eyes of the stove?
Yes, sir. On the front left corner, you can see some charred remains of something on around the eye and along the edge of the eye. It'd be the eye on the, I'm sorry, it'd be the eye on the front left corner.
So as you face the stove, the front left corner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. State 68, what are we seeing here?
That is a closer shot of the eyes of the stove and also including that front left eye, showing the items that were there.
All right. And then State's Exhibit 69, what is this item?
That's a photograph of the rear, taken from the exterior of the building of the window leading to the kitchen of the residence.
In particular, at the top and on the left side, is there anything about that screen that stuck out to you?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
The screen appeared to be bent downward along the top and then inward on the side as if someone was put in there to pull it down and away out of the frame.
As you began to process and investigate the scene, or I guess it didn't begin, but as you are processing and investigating the scene on January 19th of 2001, was that something that piqued y'all's interest?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so what, if anything, did you do to investigate that further?
Well, that item was collected. It was taken out of the frame and it was collected to be fingerprinted and processed later because it was wet. And also we used it to kind of look at how that frame itself was bent and broken.
Okay. Was there any testing done on other, well, that's the wrong question. The testing on this particular screen that was taken, did that yield anything of evidentiary significance?
No, it did not.
As it relates to other screens,
Do you have an objection, Mr. Cruz?
I would just object to leading. I tried to make that objection too many times, but I just asked him.
All right. I'm going to sustain that objection. Don't lead your witness.
yes, Judge. Would you like me to re-ask the questions?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Lieutenant Leadall, was the screen collected?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was it processed?
Yes, sir, it was.
What, if any, results were yielded?
There was no
Can you mute for a second?
identifiable prints or anything found on the screen.
As it relates to the other screens at the home, was anything done to test those screens?
Yes, sir. I myself and
Angie.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, I want to answer this. All right, Garth, the eye of a stove is in the center of a burner, more prominent in electric stoves than gas stoves. But when you have, like, you know, the coils around it, and then the center of that is called the eye. Calling it the eye of the stove is kind of weird. It should be the eye of the burner, but that's what it is.
Is it like a southern thing?
Mhm. Hey,
Hi, Shelly.
Polo.
Shall we take this is really monotonous testimony. Do you want to take a dance break?
Yes, yeah. It's not even an American thing. It's more of a Southern thing. Southeast of America.
Yeah, that's
more of a country
what I
thing
was
because
thinking.
yeah, because you use the eye of the burner to light your cigarettes and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I've heard it be mostly called the eye of the burner, but that's what eye of the stove is too. It's the hottest part on the stove, which is the eye. Yeah. But it is America. But there's difference, just like in Canada, you know, you guys have your different provinces. We have our different cultural areas. New England and Massachusetts, that's that they their own selves. And then we have the Southeast. The Southeast is the Bible Belt, and it goes all the way through the Gulf. Then you have the Midwest. Yeah, regional variances. You have the Midwest.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a combination of Yankees and Rebels, the North and South. And then you got the brain fried Californias. The sun. I'm blaming the sun out in California. I've been there. I don't know if you've ever visited California, but I've been there. That sun is brutal out there.
And then you have Hawaii, which is like a whole other beast.
Hawaii is like, okay, so why is it called the Bible Belt? It is a specific stretch of states that are extremely religious, and it's the Southeast, but not Florida. Florida doesn't count. Florida, oh yeah, also Florida's Florida. Florida's not the Southeast. They're extremely religious, mostly Baptist. The holy city, which is the center of the Bible Belt, which is Charleston, South Carolina, that actually there's a city ordinance that no building can be taller than this than the church steeples.
Really? I didn't know that.
A tad warm there, yeah, I bet. There's a city ordinance that no building can be taller than the 5 church steeples, so that from the horizon you always see. Yeah, I was born down there, and I was basically raised in Charleston. Always went back to Charleston. It was just, you know, so that's my home. So I can, growing up, you know, in that Bible Belt, in those religions, I could actually do an entire episode on the history of the Southeast and the history of Charleston itself. Might do that. Might do a bonus episode of that.
Yeah, we should do like a maybe like a rundown of like, because my favorite, I mean, Dr. King was amazing, but my personal favorite like civil rights leader was Medgar Evers. And it's all because of the movie Ghost of Mississippi. If you have not seen that movie, it is fantastic. And
No, I have not seen that movie.
Side note, but so Medgar Evers was assassinated in 1963, I believe. And his assassin was put on trial twice. Initially tried, then retried, both hung juries. And then in the 90s, he was retried again, and he was finally found guilty. Now, the movie, Whoopi Goldberg plays his widow, Merle Evers Williams, I believe is her last name now. Merle herself was on set of the movie, and there were days that she could not go on set because James Woods, who played Byron De La Beckwith, who was his assassin, looked so much like him that it was bringing back like bad memories. So, and then Alec Baldwin plays Bobby DeLauder, who was the prosecuting attorney. But yeah, that would be an interesting thing to like talk about. And I don't know how I would reach out to him, but I would love to interview like Jerry Mitchell. He was the reporter, one of the main reporters, and he like played a really big part in helping them prosecute Byron De La Beckwith finally and get him convicted. So
I mean, you could look it up. He's a reporter. You could probably figure out where he works now.
Yeah.
All right, Shelly.
Okay, let's do a dance break real quick, and then we will get back to this boring testimony. Be right back, y'all.
That sounds good to me.
From Boston fog to courthouse stone, Aiden wore the truth like a coat. He dug through lies and copied files till the whole damn paper started to glow. He found the name of Officer John, found the edits, found the bloodless lines, found the hands that scrubbed the page and the grin they wore when they sold that lie. They said, let it sleep. They said, walk away, but Aiden kept the receipts in a drawer that shook all day. Never poke a turtle, never poke a turtle. Slow step, hard shell, truth crawls, but it hits like hell. Never poke a turtle, never poke a turtle. Polished words and suits that fit a guilty frame. They leaned on names, they bent the facts, tried to bury John, then bury the blame. Aiden stood in the floodlit hall with his notes and a jaw like iron. He said, if you want this dead and gone, you'll have to kill every page I'm on. They locked the door, they raised the heat, turtle. poke a turtle. Slow step, hard shell. Truth crawls, but it hits like hell. Never poke a turtle. Never poke a turtle. You can hide for a while, but you can't hide forever.
Okay. You've yes, but dial that like button. Yes. Okay, back to testimony because I have a hard out in about 45 minutes. So here we go.
Another investigator attempted to remove the screen from the exterior side to see how it would pull out. And during that testing, we could not remove the screen without fracturing the frame of the screen somewhere because we had to bend it so far to remove it from that window from the exterior side of the building.
And so how did the screens that y'all tested out removing them compare to the screen that we just depicted in State's Exhibit 69?
They were identical screens made of the same type of material, which I believe was aluminum, and they were approximately the same size from each one of them.
And so after you tested prying them out, did that do anything to those screens?
Yes, it broke them and bent them.
Okay. And how did those breaks and bends compare with the screen that we depicted in State's Exhibit 69?
Very similar.
Okay. And I'm going to hand you State's Exhibits 70 through 76, which have already been shown to Mr. Cruz. Once you get done reviewing them, let me know.
Sir, hold on.
And just kind of collectively, not individually, what are these?
Those are photographs of various items. The screen itself is, or the rear window, and all photographs of Miss Baker and the area around her body, as well as entrance to the bathroom, I believe.
Are they fair and accurate depictions from January 19th, 2001?
Yes, sir, they are.
Judge, I move to tender States 70 through 76 and ask to publish those to the jury.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
They are admitted, and yes, you may publish.
State 70, what is that?
That's a photograph of the upper torso of Miss Baker as she was found. It also includes a photograph of the straps that was found on the bag that matched the bag to the left, her left, as she's laying there. And you see a portion of the transformer that belonged to the printer there.
State's Exhibit 71.
That's a closer photograph of the cord that went from the transformer to around the neck of Miss Baker.
State 72.
That is a closer shot or another angle of the cord as it's around the neck of Miss Baker.
And State's Exhibit 73, what are we seeing here?
That's a photograph of the broken screen from the window as it enters into the kitchen of the rear of the residence.
And State's Exhibit 74.
That's another photograph of that same screen, but that's showing as you're facing the screen, showing the left-hand edge of that frame of that screen.
And State's Exhibit 75.
That's a photograph of the window leading into the kitchen, showing the entire screen as it was found.
And this is jumping around a little bit, I'm sorry, but State 76, what are we looking at here?
That's a photograph of the entrance to the bathroom. I call it the public bathroom from the main room, and also the one that's shared by Miss Baker's bedroom.
When you say public bathroom, I'm just going to put the diagram of the floor plan layout up again. And you've testified that bedroom 3 is Miss Baker's bedroom, is that right?
That's correct.
The bathroom in bedroom 3, how many doors does it have?
That has two doors. One that leads from the living room into the bathroom, and the other one leads, the only way to enter through that one is through the bedroom.
Okay. And so the other 2 bathrooms in the home, how do they differ from the bathroom in bedroom 3?
The only way you can enter those bathrooms is by going inside their bedrooms.
And Your Honor, I'm going to hand Mr. Cruz State's Exhibits 77, 87. All right, so, I'm sorry, I didn't send these to you. State's Exhibit 77 through 87. I'm going to hand those to you now. And sir, I've had a chance to review these. You recognize what they are?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And I don't need to necessarily describe each of them right now, but kind of in general, where are they pictures from?
Those are photos that are taken inside the bedroom of Miss Baker, showing some of the items of evidence that we collected.
And do they appear to be fair and accurate depictions?
Yes, sir, they do.
Judge, I'm going to tender 77 through 87, publishing to the jury.
Any objection, Ms. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
They are admitted. And you may publish.
Thank you, Judge. State's Exhibit 77, what is that?
That's a photograph of the knife that was found near the head of Miss Baker.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 78, what is that?
That's also another photograph of the knife.
Okay. And let me ask you a question real quick. Was the blade on this knife longer than 3 inches?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 79, what are we looking at here?
That's the photograph of the knife as it was found on the floor adjacent to Miss Baker.
Okay. And so immediately to the left of the knife handle, we see something. What is this here?
That is the right arm of Miss Baker.
Okay. I just want to ask you a question real quick. We see in 79, the knife handle right there. And then we see in 78, knife handle right here. Those appear in the photographs to be 2 different colors. Is there an explanation for that?
That's just the way the light reflected off of it as I was taking the photograph. When I got the photo, I was holding the knife. It was closer to the camera in the flash, and I was getting actual true color. When it was down onto the ground, it was getting lesser light, and it was just showing a different shade of it.
Okay. When you're taking pictures in an environment, can some of the surrounding colors or the colors in the environment affect the flash?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, I'm going to sustain that objection. You may rephrase, Mr. Yonashili.
Are there differences in how does a flash affect photographs?
It can affect photographs in different ways by the amount of reflection onto the item that you're taking a photograph of. And then you have items, for example, this where it's a lot of dark backgrounds. It doesn't reflect the light like it should, or as well as if there wasn't anything dark there, and it will change the colors and the hues a little bit when you take the photograph and you print the photographs out, and you get a different color to it, different tints.
And I'm going to put up State's Exhibit 80 at this time. What are we seeing here?
That's a photograph of Miss Baker, and to the left of the photograph, you see the area of the printer cable that's run across and over towards her.
At any point while you were on scene processing the scene, was Miss Baker's body moved?
Yes.
Okay. Who moved it?
Myself and Agent Terry Cooper.
Why did y'all move it?
To take her out to a cleaner area and put her on some clean sheets that we had purchased to check for trace evidence, and to also try to recover fingerprints and have more room to work besides in the room where she was found.
What area did y'all move her to?
To the living room.
Okay. So I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit 81. When y'all, what am I seeing in 81?
You're seeing the head area of Miss Baker and the power cord that's wrapped around the neck.
Had you done anything to the power cord prior to moving her?
Yes, sir. I cut the power cord from the transformer so we could leave the power cord around the neck of Miss Baker for the forensic pathologist to view.
Okay. State's Exhibit 82, what is that?
That is the right hand of Miss Baker.
Okay. State's Exhibit 83, what are we seeing here?
That's a photograph of the left hand of Miss Baker.
Was there anything of significance to you as a forensics detective about her left hand depicted in State's 83?
Yes, there were some wounds, defensive type wounds to the hand.
Okay. And then State's Exhibit 84, what are we seeing here?
That is the leg of Miss Baker. I believe it was the right leg of Miss Baker.
Okay. And in particular, what are we seeing in this area here?
That appeared to be a blood transfer pattern that was on the leg, kind of in the shape of a hand, made by someone touching that leg.
Did you make any effort to try and process that area of her body?
Yes, sir, we did.
What did you do?
We tried several methods of trying to recover that to see if there was any fingerprint ridge detail in it. We used a chemical called TMB, and I apologize, I don't know what that TMB stands for, but it's a reagent that reacts with blood, similar to like phenolphthalein or luminol that's used to detect blood. We also applied Polaroid film to that spot in hope that the TMB and the blood would transfer the pattern to the Polaroid film and have a chemical reaction. And then we also dusted that film with magnetic fingerprint powder, as well as processed that straight on the skin with fingerprint powder to try to recover fingerprints.
Were you successful?
No, sir.
Okay. We talked about environmental factors earlier. How would the environmental factors at this scene affect, if at all, your ability to process for fingerprints?
Well, fingerprints on the body is very difficult to recover. I've only done it once or twice in my life, and that was doing it during testing on myself. It's never worked out on the scene, but it is possible. In this case, we did not have any luck because you also have environmental factors such as the water from the fire, the heat from the fire. The heat made the skin almost feel dry out to like it was leather. Fingerprints are usually left behind by oils and dirts and stuff from the fingers when you touch a surface. In this case, the heat dries that up, and it also absorbs those chemicals and that water and things into the skin because of the heat. The fire department putting the fire out, the fact that water's there can wash off any of the oils or trace evidence or things on the skin. But it's extremely difficult to recover fingerprints from a body, but it's not impossible.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 85, ask you if you recognize that.
Yes, sir, I do.
What do you recognize that as?
That is showing some of the heat damage to the side of Miss Baker.
And then State's 86, what are we seeing here?
That is the right knee and upper thigh of Miss Baker that was burned.
Did y'all process any other surfaces inside of the residence?
Yes, sir, we did. We processed the doors and the window areas looking for fingerprints.
Was there anything of significance that you noted in your processing of the doors and window areas?
We found what appeared to be white marks on the front door near the peephole, as if somebody had taken a cloth of some sort and wiped the area down. We found other areas where you had mostly water damage and things as far as fingerprinting, which fingerprint powder and water, the powder is consistent with baby powder. So when it gets wet, it clumps up and it's completely ineffective in trying to recover fingerprints. So it made it difficult. But we saw areas where it appeared to have been wiped down
Angie?
at some point in time before we handled it, added the powders.
Okay. Were you able to recover any prints in your processing of the scene?
We recovered one print that appeared to be a palm print on one of the doors, the interior doors, but it turned out it was unidentifiable.
And I'm putting up what's been marked as State's Exhibit 87. And can you tell us what we're looking at here?
That is a fingerprint that was found on the door. I'd have to look at my report to tell you exactly which.
To answer your question, no, Chris has not been on the stand yet. I believe he was on day 3 or 4. So no, not yet. It's coming though. It is coming.
Door it was. It was one of the doors inside the residence. I think one of the bedroom doors, if I recall correctly. Yeah, bedroom number 2, which would have been the first door on your left as you walk into the residence from the outside.
You made reference to a print being unidentifiable just a moment ago. Are you referring to this print or a different one?
To this print.
Okay. And I think, I'm sorry, earlier we talked about the APHIS system at the Athens Clarke County Police Department. What involvement again did you have with that?
Well, I was the project manager that started the program when we first got it, but then I was the APHIS operator for 7 or 8 years before I was promoted and moved on up, and I had other people trained to do it, and I took more of a supervisory responsibility.
And could you remind the jury what APHIS stands for?
The Automated Fingerprint Identification System.
I want to back up now. We talked about the processing of surfaces for fingerprints. Let's back up to processing Ms. Baker's body in the living room on the white sheets for trace evidence.
Sure.
Were you able to find any trace evidence on Ms. Baker's person?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay. When we're using the terminology trace evidence, does hair fall in that category?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay. I'm going to show Mr. Cruz what's been marked as State's Exhibits 88, 89.
I'm good at it though.
And Your Honor, if it's acceptable to the court, I was going to hand Lieutenant Leadall states 88, 89, and 90. And then I was going to ask him to open it. I have a pocket knife with me. So, okay, if I hand him that.
It is fine.
Thank you. That's all right. First, I'll let you review 88, 89, and 90. And then I'm going to hand you this pocket knife. You might open those up. And then before I ask you any other questions about it, I'll take it back to defense counsel. Thank you, sir. And Your Honor, Lieutenant Leadall has opened states 88, 89, 90. I need those, Mr. Cruz. I don't think so. As long as it stays in here. Sir, I'm going to hand you 88, 89, and 90. And if you could, reach inside the envelope marked states 88 and let me know what is inside there.
It's a sealed envelope with my handwriting on it, depicting hair recovered from the torso of the victim.
Okay. Does that appear, based on labeling, to be the hair you collected from the torso of the victim?
Based on the labeling, yes, that's correct. My seals are still intact, and my initials are over the seals.
And Judge, I move to tender states 88 at this time.
Any objection? Go ahead.
On the basis of authentication, I spoke to the state. You said that on cross-examination, I could go through the process of authenticating what's in the envelope. So I would ask at this time not to admit that the item into evidence, but on cross, I will open it up and authenticate it with the witness, and if the court finds it appropriate, I'll admit it at that time. That's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mr. Yelmichilli, any response to the statement by defense counsel?
It's been appropriately authenticated to the admitted, Your Honor.
I'm going to admit it over objection, but certainly, Mr. Cruz, you can do any of those things that you'd like to on cross-examination. You may continue.
Six, Exhibit 89, same thing.
That is an envelope, again, that has my initials over the seals. It was sealed in my handwriting, depicting the hair that was recovered from the buttocks area of Miss Baker.
And does that appear to be the sample that you collected and sealed in your processing of the crime scene?
Yes, sir, it does.
And Judge, I move to tender 89 at this time.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Just the objection.
All right, thank you. I'm going to overrule the objection, admit it over objection.
And then States Exhibit 90, same thing.
That is also an envelope that has my initials over the evidence seal that contains the hair that was recovered from the left hand of Miss Baker.
And does that appear to be in substantially the same shape as when you collected it and sealed it inside that evidence?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I move to tender 90.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Only the prior objection.
All right, thank you. I'm going to admit it over objection, but you certainly can cross-examine, and it is defense counsel's time.
Were those the three areas of Miss Baker from which you recovered some type of hair?
Yes.
Okay. And as part of your forensic processing, do you test or identify hair?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry, Judge. We have just a moment. And I'm going to show.
I agree, Shelley, or Jeannie, sorry. And this will come in later, but from what the evidence shows, whoever killed, thank you. What the evidence shows is that whoever killed her, or unalived her, I should say, took a blanket from her roommate's room. It wasn't even Tara's blanket. It was her roommate's blanket. Took it over to the stove, turned the stove on, lit it on fire that way, and then dragged it back to Tara's room. And yeah, so it's crazy. And nothing was stolen from the house. So if it was a burglary, a stranger going in, and the only thing taken was Tara's laptop. Yeah. Yeah. And the doors were locked from the inside. That's the other thing too. The deadbolts were locked. So how do you close the door going out of the house with the deadlock already? You can't close the door that way with the deadlock already, like,
Unless you have a key.
Exactly.
Unless you have a key.
Yeah.
And I don't see why she would have given Edric Faust a key, because they were
They
whatever,
supposedly
but
didn't
they
know
weren't.
they didn't know each other. Like,
Right.
could they have had a chance encounter? Sure. Because again, it'll come in later, but there was some questionable things about her relationship with Chris. And whether or not they were still on good terms. But again, that'll come in later. Back to this.
Right.
I gotta go soon.
Mr. Cruz was in one of the state's exhibits, 91 and 92. So first I'm going to hand you the
Hi, Flashman. Thank you for coming.
I do.
How are you able to recognize it?
From the markings on the bag, which depicts what's in it.
What is it?
It's the electrical cord of ligature that was taken from around the neck of Miss Baker.
And Judge, I moved the intended state's 91 at this time.
Any objection, counsel?
So I don't think anything was necessarily planted because you keep in mind, this was in 2001. However, and again, this will come in later. There's some wonky things about the swabs. Like, they literally messed up a batch of swabs that they had, and instead of saying they were from her hoo-ha, if you catch my drift, they were labeled oral swabs. So the evidence, yeah.
The mouth and the flower are in two different parts of the body.
Right. So, there's a lot of wonky stuff with this case.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I discussed yesterday, Maelynn, I don't know if you were able to go back and watch, but they used true allele for this case, and the judge let it in, and it's never been allowed in any other case in the country. It's junk science, at least at this point. Like, there's so much wrong with this case, so much.
Sounds like
It is admitted.
Attorney General, United States 92. What is that?
That is a sealed bag that's containing the residue that was recovered from around the eye of the stove in the kitchen.
And how do you recognize it?
It's marked on the bag is what it is, and the identification from the police department with our case number.
Your Honor, I've moved to tender states 92 at this time.
Any objection?
I'm going to hand Mr. Cruz states exhibit 93 at this time. Thank you.
That's right. That's 94. 30, and you're on 90.
So I'm going to hand you states exhibit 93 at this time. Do you recognize what that is?
It's a box labeled containing the knobs from the kitchen stove from Ms. Baker's residence.
Okay. And let me ask you a question about those knobs on the kitchen stove. Where were those knobs when you saw them?
They were attached to the stove in its proper positions, the post that they slide onto.
Okay. And I'm not going to ask you to say anything that anybody said to you, but was it your understanding that they had been that way when firefighters entered the residence?
Yes,
Okay. As far as attached or not attached to the stove?
both.
Okay. And I don't think we actually labeled this, Judge. I'm sorry. Okay. And does this, well, you've already identified it, sorry. Judge, I'm moving to tender states 93 this time.
Any objections, Cruz? Same thing.
Sir, I'm going to hand you states exhibit 94 at this time. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is it?
It's the box containing the knife that was recovered near Ms. Baker.
And I'm going to move to tender 94 at this time, Judge.
Any objections, Cruz? Same thing.
Sir, I'll hand you 95. Ask you if you recognize that.
Yes, sir, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It's got my name on the bag. Is entering it into the evidence room.
Okay. And what is it?
Sorry.
What is it?
It contains the wood butcher block holder for the knives that was found on the countertop next to the stove.
And Judge, I moved to tender states 95 at this time.
Any objection? It is admitted.
Sir, when you were processing the scene and collecting this evidence, do you recall the brand or manufacturer of the knife block?
If I recall correctly, I believe it was Farberware.
Okay. And do you recall the brand or manufacturer of the knife that was found in Miss Baker's bedroom?
I believe that was also Farberware.
Okay. And Mr. Cruz, I think you states 96. I'm handing Mr. Cruz states 96. Lieutenant Lee, I'm handing you now states 96. Do you recognize that item?
I do.
And what do you recognize it as?
It's a bag that's containing the power transformer to the printer, which I cut that portion off. That was around the neck of Ms. Baker, and this is the remaining portion of it.
Judge, I think the tender states 96 at this point.
Any objection? Admitted.
After you finished processing Miss Baker's body for trace evidence, are you aware of what was done with her body?
Yes, she was placed into a disaster bag, and she was transported to the GBI crime lab for an autopsy.
Your Honor, if I could have just a moment to confer with Mr. Bolton.
All right, go ahead.
Lieutenant Leadall, as you were processing the crime scene and also Miss Baker's body, were there any odors of significance?
Yes,
And what was that?
I distinctly remember the smell of the shampoo that emitted from her hair. I don't know the brand name or anything like that, but I can smell it to this day.
Judge, I don't have any other questions for Lieutenant Leadall.
All right, thank you. I think before we, Mr. Cruz, we do cross-examination, we're going to take a break.
I agree.
All right, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break for a little less than 15 minutes. If you'll go into the jury room, there are, of course, snacks there. The restroom, please don't discuss the case. We will be with you at 3:45. Thank you.
Discuss with you.
No, sir.
I would like to follow up with you on some things that the state discussed with you. I'd like to show you State Exhibit 37. Your Honor, is it okay if I approach the witness?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
And you have continuing freedom to walk around the courtroom. You don't have to ask.
Now, we've established that you recognize that photo as an aerial view of the Deer Park community. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. I would like to also show you what's marked as Defense Exhibit 12, 13, 14, and 15. And let the record reflect I may have skipped 9, 10, and 11. These are marked. Let the record reflect that I'm showing the state said as it is.
Mr. Cruz. Thank you.
Lieutenant Liddell, take your time, look at those photographs. Once you've had opportunity to look at those photographs, just please look up. You recognize Defense Exhibit 12 through 15, if I have my numbering correct, as aerial views of the Deer Park community. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. They are.
Okay, and they're aerial views from different angles. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Are those photographs fan accurate depictions of Deer Park and the surrounding area as you know it?
Yes, sir. They are.
Thank you. Have those photographs been altered in any way to your knowledge?
They don't appear to be. No.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 12 through 15 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
They are admitted.
Do you want 37 back?
I'd also like to show you State Exhibit 47. We've established that you recognize State Exhibit 47. Is it okay if I approach you, sir?
Yes, sir.
We have established that you recognize the photograph. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'd like to show you court's indulgence, Your Honor. I'd like to show you what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 9. Let the record reflect that I am showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 9.
No objection, Your Honor.
May I approach you?
Go ahead. It's fine.
No, I won't be starting.
So I handed you the state's exhibit and I handed you Defense Exhibit 9. Would you agree that Defense Exhibit 9 is a close-up of the window depicted in State's Exhibit, I believe 27, if I'm not mistaken. I may have that number wrong.
47.
47, please forgive me.
Yes, sir. You're correct.
And do you recognize that photo?
Yes, sir. It's the photograph showing the window adjacent to the rear entrance or exit, however you want to look at it, to the apartment.
Yes, sir. Has that, to your knowledge, or would you have any reason to disagree that that photo has not been altered in any way?
I would agree.
Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 9 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
Admitted.
Yes, ma'am. And I would ask for permission to publish Defense Exhibit 9 and State's Exhibit 47 to the jury. Thank you. I'd like to show you what is being marked as Defense Exhibit 10. Let Let the record reflect that I am showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 10.
Absolutely.
Lieutenant Leadall, do you recognize Defense Exhibit 10?
I do.
Okay, and you recognize Defense Exhibit 10 as the back door that's depicted in State's Exhibit 47, is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
And it's just a closer up view of said door, is that right?
That's correct.
Would you have any reason to disagree that that photo has not been altered in any way?
It doesn't appear to be altered that I'm aware of.
Yes, sir. Is it a fair and accurate depiction of the back door as you remember it to be?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 10 into evidence and publish same to the jury.
No objection, Judge.
Court's indulgence, Your Honor. I'd like to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 71. Now, in regards to State's Exhibit 71, I believe we saw a prior photo of material from the ceiling that was on top of Ms. Baker and on top of that item there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just to make the record clear, the item that I'm speaking of is the power transformer. Where the power transformer is located, once that debris was moved, is that the place that you found the power transformer located?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask for permission to publish State's Exhibit 27 to members of the jury.
That was already admitted, correct?
It was.
Granted.
Thank you. And we've already established that on January 19, 2001, you went to Ms. Baker's home and you had opportunity to view her body, correct? Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
In regards to the evidence located on and around Ms. Baker's body, there were hairs collected from Ms. Baker's left hand. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
There were hairs collected from Ms. Baker's body. Is that right?
That's correct.
There was also a hair collected from Ms. Baker's buttocks. Is that right?
That's correct.
And I'm going to get you another pair of gloves.
No, I'm good.
Give me 1 second. Court's indulgence. All right, I'd like to show you what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit 89, which contains a envelope enclosed, documented as item number 8, hair from buttocks. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you a pair of scissors. I would like you to open item number 8 that was within State's Exhibit 89. And I provided you a paper towel for the hair.
Okay. There is no hair in it.
Can you repeat that?
There is no hair inside it.
Thank you.
I'm going to place this back in the envelope where I cut it open.
I'd like to show you what's previously been admitted as State's Exhibit 88. Inside State's Exhibit 88, there's an envelope marked number 9, hair from torso area of victim. Are you okay with opening this for me, sir? Yes, sir.
There's no hair inside here.
Can you repeat that for the jury?
There's no hair inside here.
Round, I get around.
Can I take a break for a second? Bathroom break if it's okay.
Yes, you can. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to go into the jury room for a couple of moments. Please don't discuss the case.
Okay, as much as I would love to like stick with it and finish it out, I have to get going. So
That's fine. Go enjoy your time with your kids. I mean, they're only this age once.
yeah,
So, yeah, and like like I said earlier in the stream, real life comes first over any of this.
Right.
So,
yeah. So we will finish up this tomorrow. Wait, were we planning anything special for tomorrow? Can you remember?
not
I don't think we
we're
were.
we're doing the talk strike tonight.
We're doing it tonight and tomorrow night.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And speaking of which, I gotta text you that, or once I get the stream up, send you the link to send to our special guest for
Is our
tonight.
special guest under attack right now?
No. Well, maybe. Okay,
Maybe
it's Kazi,
fighting.
y'all. He's been on before.
Okay, Kazi. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking Jeff.
Can you
yeah,
shoot Jeff a message, see if he is available for tonight?
Yeah, definitely. After we get off, I'll
Okay.
definitely shoot a message because I would love. Oh my gosh, Jeff and Kazi on stage together.
Right,
That
right.
is.
If
Oh
not
my
tonight,
gosh.
then tomorrow night. Either one will
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, I'll give them the option. So 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
My time.
Okay, so housekeeping. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.
I'm at 137 so let's get me up to 140 this week before I go off to Dollywood. I would love to go to
Yes.
Dollywood with 140 subs. Then I won't have to sleep out on the balcony with the girls. And Angie's at 182, so let's get up to 190 this week. I think we could do it.
182. Did I drop that much?
Yeah.
I thought
Let's fucking go.
282. 282.
Huh?
282. It's 282.
282. Did I say what? My
You said
gosh.
182.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
wait,
No.
what?
I am. No. Good, Gravy. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I said it wrong. So
You
we're gonna
gave me a
scratch
heart
that.
attack.
She is at 282, so let's get her to 290 this week. She is not dead. Please don't yell at me. I'm getting off soon, okay, princess? I love you.
Okay.
My dog's shouting at me.
Yeah, I get it. I don't usually ask for specific amounts for donations, but if you like what I do need a little bit of help with StreamYard this month, especially, because next week I'm going to be doing it all solo, which I fumbled all around yesterday. You should have heard me, mate.
Yeah. I can be here Monday. Tuesday, I'll pop in and say hi. But I'll be packing and getting everything together. Because Wednesday I leave for Dollywood, and my mom and my middle son are actually headed down to South Carolina. We're getting my 13-year-old niece for the summer. So I'm excited. Yeah, so mom and Bug are going down and picking her up. So while I'm down in Dollywood. So I'll pop in for a few to say hi on Tuesday, but I won't be staying very long at all. Gotta get everything. Yes. So
yes.
Yeah. So here's Angie's links to help support her. Thank you so much, Krista, for coming.
StreamYard runs $45 a month. So if you feel that what's the word? If you would like to donate, to my poor fund. I would
Yeah,
be
we
forever grateful.
we pose.
Yeah.
We pose. So we
Um,
definitely need. Yeah. Yeah,
Hi,
stream's
Dar.
not cheap or free. Hey, Dar. Welcome. Dar's here, so it's time for us to end. That's
Yeah.
usually what has been happening.
Okay.
Just like anytime Moni shows up in Baker's chat, he's like, "Oh, Baker's here," or "Moni's here. Time to end."
Okay, so follow me on X, AngieM1984YT, Facebook, Angie Mead. If you have any case suggestions, and I actually am looking into the one, it's going on right now in South Carolina. As a
South Carolina
convenience store.
versus Chow.
Yeah, that might be an interesting one to get into once we're done with this.
I haven't even heard of that one yet, so I wrote it down so I could look into it because, I mean,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I
it
mean, I'm from
sounds like
South Carolina. I'm a South
Right.
Carolinian. I should know what's going on down there. Sorry.
Right.
At
So,
one point I did have an accent that thick.
yeah, I can hear it though. Like when you talk, I can still, it's there, but it's very like subtle.
It's subtle now. I've been up north for 10 years.
Yeah.
But I did at
Some
one
people
point
say
have
I have an like some people say I have an accent, and I'm from Hawaii. So, but I don't know.
Every now and then you'll say something and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's totally Hawaii. There's the Hawaiian. So yeah, every now
Yeah.
and then you do let this Hawaii slip out.
Right. You should have heard my uncle. He's from because my dad's family is from like North Carolina, Florida. So they all have very like thick Southern accents. And we were trying to teach him pidgin, like Hawaii pidgin, and it was so funny. Oh goodness. Anyway, don't ask me to speak pidgin. I can't do it on demand. Yeah. So anyway, hi Zach.
Pidgin is a very, very, very fun language, but you do have to sit down and think about it because it's like, yes, my favorite non-Hawaiian Hawaiian.
All right.
Yes.
So we will. Do you want to do your grift before I sign off?
Sure. So I only have one payment form of payment. It's Cash App. It's TC Maelynn. I am saving up for Dollywood next week. Not going to actually Dollywood. Just doing the meet and greet on Wednesday, dinner meet and greet on Wednesday night, and the Friday night live show. But on Thursday we'll be hanging out at the pool and piddling around. So if anyone would like to help support my vacation, it's CC Maelynn at Cash App. And then once I get back, I will be hitting the YouTube streets very hard again. One of the things is I am working on is I am going to be doing a Justin Root story. I have been talking to his sister, and and it's a very tough one for me. It was the first one I ever heard of, first one outside of Karen Reed that I heard about my first day on X, and it's just a tragedy. So I am going to be doing a big show on that, and I will be getting back to my Mondays, current cases, Wednesdays, public enemy #1, and Fridays, Seriously Friday. So please make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you can get a notification, or not, because we know YouTube supposedly pretend to get a notification from YouTube whenever I go live, or follow me on X at TC Maelynn. I always post on there when I'm going live as well. And then I also stream on X. So if you see me streaming on X, you know I'm live on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you have a good day, friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. That one I think was version 2. So let's go version 3. Okay. So I have this. I have a song called "No House, No Faust," but I have 3 different versions of it. So that's been my outro for the last 3 days. It's just 3 different versions. All right, everybody. We love you all, and we hope you all have a wonderful day. And we will see you in the chat. And we will see you at 8 o'clock tonight on my channel for a bonus Talk Shite night. Be there or be square. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
All right, everybody go out. My entire thing just like kind of crushed on me right at the very end. Everybody go out with love and peace in your hearts. We love you all. We'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock here. Be here or be square. And we'll see you in the YouTube streets.
All right.
Love you guys. Be beautiful butterflies.
Bye.
Bye.
Tara was 23 when winter took a breath. January held the road and never gave it back. They waited all those years for one hard door to crack, but the truth stayed under soil and came up fighting back.
23 years later, her name was dragged to light. But the paper said one story and the facts said something else. The table shook, the room went still when they called it back to life. Now the dead can't stay buried if the living won't be silent.
Tara's name is strong. Tara's name is strong. If the truth was buried, it still breathes along. Tara's name is strong. Tara's name is strong. Now the fight begins to prove the verdict wrong. In the trial, every word bent under pressure slow. His defense kept saying nothing ties him to that floor. They pointed at the one she loved and asked who knocked that door. But a love can be a shadow, and a shadow ain't the score.
They said the wrong man stood there while the real one slipped away. Every lie got dressed as reason, every reason wore a mask. But Tara's voice was in the silence every time they said her name. And the record keeps on turning till the broken line is cast.
Tara's name is strong. Tara's name is strong. If the truth was buried, it still breathes along. Tara's name is strong. Tara's name is strong. Now the fight begins to prove the verdict wrong. Raise it up, let it ring. For the years they let it go. For the mother, for the answer, for the wound they never showed. If the wrong one was convicted, then the whole world has to know Tara's name, Tara's name, Tara's name is strong.